Welcome back, everyone. I'm assuming it's welcome back because this is Volume 3 of Ultimate Spider-Man that we are reviewing here. It is called Double Trouble, and as you can see, I have the one with the creators on the very bottom of it. Probably by the cover, you can assume that in this story, Ultimate Spider-Man takes on Ultimate Doctor Octopus. It collects issues 14 through 21 in here. And he also takes on Ultimate Kraven the Hunter. There's the side right here. And let's open it up and see what they have. Here's a picture of Spidey. And there's all the chapters for all of the issues. So it starts off with Peter Parker in class. They're going to do a superhero assignment. And then, interesting stuff. Well, it's all interesting, but the really interesting stuff for me, because Doctor Octopus, I think, is Spider-Man's greatest enemy. He's definitely one of my favorite Spider-Man villains. And, top 3 easy. And finally, we have one of my top 3 Spider-Man villains in the Ultimate Universe right here. Doctor Octopus. He's waking up from his coma, so to say. Ever since the explosion he was caught in Ultimate Spider-Man Volume 1. The same explosion that created the Green Goblin. And it created, seemingly right here, Doctor Octopus, fusing the metal harness he wears for his experiments onto him. Now, the thing with, I should talk more. The thing with Doctor Octopus, he first appeared in Amazing Spider-Man issue 3 in July 1963. So I think it's kind of cool that Volume 3 of Ultimate Spider-Man is where he comes back. So, and they also talk about it. We get the introduction of Ultimate Gwen Stacy in this story. She's kind of the, I don't want to say goth, but just kind of the weird outcast chick here in the story. She's new to the school, of course. Her father is Captain George Stacy at the police department, and he's in this issue a lot, in this story a lot as well. Captain George Stacy was also in Volume 1. He was the guy to see Spider-Man capture the burglar. Anyway, Hank Pym, Dr. Pym is in here. And he talks to Otto Octavius, and he's like, it's very amazing that those harnesses got fused to you. And Dr. Octopus is like, he's wearing a bandage over his eye, so he's freaking out about, what the heck? What is this, stuff I'm feeling? And he says, one of my favorite lines is, so what you're saying is that I was found like this, and then left like this to see what would happen? And you're like, awkward. So then he freaks out and kills almost all of them except Hank Pym. He returns in Volume 9. And then we get this kind of interesting thing, which you kind of figure, I don't know why people don't think about this in the Amazing Universe. But Kenny Kong is just laying in bed thinking about past events, and he puts together that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. Of course, nothing really comes from it. Dr. Octopus still kind of, because the explosion also messed with his brain, just like in the 616 universe. He goes to his old house and he kills the person living there now. Of course, he sees if Peter Parker is Spider-Man, tests him, hurts him, or he pretends to be hurt. Then Gwen Stacy pulls a knife out on Kenny Kong and threatens him if he does it again. And this leads to a whole bunch of craziness with Captain George Stacy and her. Of course, he's at the crime scene seeing this murdered girl and why. It's a, freak moment. How did it happen? Of course, here's your reporter Ben Urich, and they actually acknowledge the Kingpin going down, and now there's like tens of people who try to be the new Kingpin, so that's craziness. There's an iconic scene here where Spider-Man confronts J. Jonah Jameson about his paper. Dr. Octopus has on his own mission, though, and he's going after billionaire Justin Hammer. Now, Justin Hammer in the Amazing Universe is an Iron Man villain. I know he kind of fought Spider-Man, or was against Spider-Man in issue 319 in the Amazing Universe, but basically it's revealed that Justin Hammer paid Otto Octavius to give him Oscorp secrets, and Octavius thinks that he caused the explosion to try and kill him. Long story short, then we get Kraven the Hunter here. He's done his really big build-up, and if you know, the build-up does not count for anything. So anyway, Kraven comes to New York to try and hunt Spider-Man for good TV, really. And we see that Justin Hammer is not just a little bit of a behind-the-scenes criminal, but he is doing, well, I guess he's all behind the scenes because the public views him as good. He is doing illegal experiments on people. For example, He's the one who gave Max Dillon his electric powers. He turned Flint Marko into the Sandman. This is Sandman's only look right here. And, you know, that doesn't want to be released to the public. Of course, he's opening up a new offshore power plant. Doctor Octopus takes it over. And Spider-Man crashes in, tries to help, fails, gets really beat up bad by Doctor Octopus, just like in issue 3. I really like his Doctor Octopus's look here. I kind of don't know why they made him so buff, though. Maybe that's just me. I don't really like that. And, yeah, they actually upgrade his arms throughout the story. That's explained. And we get our first look at Agent Sharon Carter from the Captain America mythos. She's in a lot of these volumes for Spider-Man. She's kind of like Nick Fury's second in command for S.H.I.E.L.D. And these are what the S.H.I.E.L.D. agents look like here. There's SWAT. Anyway, Spider-Man runs away. He tried to do the right thing, but Justin Hammer blames him for this stuff, so police are after him now. And, Kraven the Hunter goes to Peter Parker's school, and I don't really know. It almost like it makes it seem like he knows that Spider-Man goes to that school, but at this moment I'm pretty sure he didn't have the genetic mutation yet that he gave himself in the future stories of this universe. So this scene's kind of pointless, honestly. So anyway, Justin Hammer tries to hire Spider-Man to kill Doctor Octopus for him. He refuses. Doctor Octopus basically forces Justin Hammer to come to his industries to reveal the truth on live TV about Justin Hammer's backdoor dealings. And Spider-Man arrives, beats up Doctor Octopus, but it's a really cool fight. I love the way they draw it here. In fact, Spider-Man, realistic, you know, he gets beat up a lot, but this moment he pulls down Doc Ock's pants, he struggles. Spider-Man knocks him out then with a few punches. He even rips off one of his metal tentacles, which is something that almost never happens in Earth 616. And yeah, I like it. It's just like Doctor Octopus. He really is more just like, he really is a normal man physically. Just his arms make him so powerful. I like how they kind of had that here. Kraven the Hunter shows up. The fight Spider-Man, an epic, totally built up throughout the entire volume showdown. Spider-Man one hit uppercuts him and he's knocked down, embarrassed on live TV. His show gets canceled and all that. And everyone applauds Spider-Man for doing the right thing, and he gives a speech about why he wears a mask, why it's important, stuff like that. And he goes home, and Aunt May is waiting for him at 3 a.m. because he had to come back from New Jersey. And he's grounded right when he becomes a big-time superhero and he's on TV. The very ending, Dr. Octopus is knocked out, just spitting out nonsense. And they go home, but when everyone's gone, been gone, he says that he knows that Spider-Man's name is Parker. For the one and only appearance of Justin Hammer in the Ultimate Universe, I guess he's used well enough. I don't really know him much in the other universes. I liked him in Iron Man too, but that's a completely different interpretation than here when he's an old man. They do a good job. Of course, Doctor Octopus, his plan is a little, I don't know, weak. Because before this, there was Green Goblin. Well, Green Goblin was kind of for just the origin. Then there was Electro, Enforcers, Kingpin, Doctor Octopus, and Kraven the Hunter. Now we have the ultimate versions of all of them seen. Another thing I really like is the interactions between Gwen Stacy and her father, Captain George Stacy. It's a really, you know, it makes a lot of sense. I mean, I don't really like Gwen Stacy in this universe, but, you know, it's something more entertaining, and it makes a little bit more, you know, difference between every character who they tend to focus on. Of course, I'll say it here, but Liz Allen is kind of anti-mutant here, and that plays in Volume 20, which is very far away from here, but, you get it. Anything else is, so Kraven the Hunter, it's basically 616 Kraven the Hunter, honestly. It don't really do that much to change it up besides him having a reality show and that being a big deal with him. Of course, does this say that this girl? I don't think that's Patsy Walker, but aka Hellcat. She makes a lot of Easter egg appearances in these volumes, early volumes. They mention Ultimate Captain America, Hulk, and Iron Man in this volume, who become the Ultimates, or Ultimate Avengers, whatever you want to call it as. they do a lot of smart work with Peter Parker figuring out Doctor Octopus's stuff, and the threat of maybe Octopus knows who he is. Of course he does not until the very end. And they don't introduce a lot of S.H.I.E.L.D., but it's clear they're around in the universe. I'm pretty sure this is supposed to be Calypso. I don't know Calypso's real name, but there you go. Definitely my favorite volume so far. They just keep getting better and better. Now, maybe I said this before, but I'm pretty sure Volume 3, this is the first Ultimate Spider-Man volume I ever read. So there's a lot of nostalgia for me, a lot of things that, you know, I remember introduced to in a new universe. Jameson isn't really in here much. That's about it. Oh yeah, they have the thing with Doctor Octopus's eyes and why he wears glasses because the sun is super bright. They really do go into a lot of detail with explaining these villains' costumes, and they make it really realistic. And I really appreciate that. Kind of, I don't know, it almost makes it timeless. I mean, this is basically Spider-Man in the 2000s now, if he was created then, and it still holds up 20 years later. And I will say, I think this volume is a little bit less humorous and a little bit more dark than the last two, even with the Kingpin, and very surprising. Also, it's kind of weird. He goes there to confront Doctor Octopus, then he runs away from him. Like, he just arrived there in his car and then ran away. What the heck? Oh yeah, and in the 616 universe, at the start, Doctor Octopus's arms were not, you know, bloodily fused to his body like every other time, but he was able to take them off. But in this, they started off with him being, you know, stuck to his metal arms forever. I thought that was a really good change, especially nowadays. And with what I said earlier about me thinking Doctor Octopus is Spider-Man's greatest enemy, I mean, some people say it's Green Goblin, but there's kind of a saying that I stick with Peter Parker is Green Goblin is Peter Parker's greatest enemy, Doctor Octopus is Spider-Man's greatest enemy. But in this volume, a lot of it is not about Doctor Octopus going after Spider-Man or, you know, Otto Octavius knowing Peter Parker's secrets. It's just him going after Justin Hammer and dealing with S.H.I.E.L.D. and whatnot. It's not until the very end, which, you know, that comes up, but it's a really big Goosebumps cliffhanger here that I really appreciate. So that's Ultimate Spider-Man Volume 3, Double Trouble. A lot of really fun moments. My favorite so far. And I hope you enjoyed my little review / retrospective, I guess, is what these videos have become. And have a great day.